calling to order the regular board meeting of the Housing Authority of the County of Monterey Board of Commissioners, Monday, February 28th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure. Chair Wizard.
Here.
Vice Chair Booter.
Here.
Commissioner Healy.
Present.
Commissioner Ballesteros.
Present.
Commissioner Gama.
Present.
Commissioner Miller.
Present.
Commissioner Goodwin.
Present.
We have a
All
quorum.
right. Thank you so much. We'll next move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Miller, would you be so kind?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll next go to public comment. Any members of the public wishing to comment on items under the jurisdiction of the Housing Authority of the County of Monterey, but not otherwise agendized for discussion this evening, please identify yourselves now. Please make yourselves known to us. For the benefit of the public, we would love for you to share your name, and your comments will be limited to 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Luana Conley. Do you have time for me right now?
I do. Please go ahead.
I hope I have a little bit more than 3 minutes. If I just happen to go over a hair, I should be not much longer than that. Is that okay, John?
Yeah, just keep it going.
Good. Okay, my name is Luana Conley, and I'm here on behalf of the residents of Rippling River. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's the residential facility created for the disabled and or low-income seniors in Carmel Valley. I'm the lead of the Friends of Rippling River, a 501c3 community advocacy group formed to help residents maintain a safe, healthy, and respectful environment where they can thrive. We work at the direction of the residents and with their own decades-old residents association. The HDC contracts with the John Stewart Corporation to manage about a dozen low-income facilities in Monterey County, including Rippling River. Over the years I've been involved with the group, I've struggled with HDC interactions. I couldn't get notices of meetings, an agenda, minutes, or reports, or find out who had authority over the HDC, or discover from anyone what regulations they were bound to follow. I couldn't find out if the HDC is under the guidelines and regulations of HUD subsidized housing, which prohibits interference in residents association by management and provides other rights. So I'm delighted that the supervisors have made the move to formally consolidate the HDC and HA. And I look forward to some positive changes in how our low-income housing is managed. I've been the collection point for complaints and difficulties the residents suffer. Carla Warren asked me to try contacting the John Stewart Company before engaging with the HDC, but I rarely got an answer from them. Lately, it's been nothing but auto replies. I firmly believe that many problems for residents and management could be entirely avoided with some applied people skills, fairness, and respect. I suggested a presentation on fire safety and evacuation procedures and was told that the John Stewart Company would do so. No such session took place before the disastrous Carmel fire. I was called by Starla to see if I could help in the evacuation while I was evacuating myself and a terminally ill friend. One mobility impaired resident who should have been taken to a care facility was dumped in a Salinas shelter, stuck in a wheelchair overnight without assistance. Planning ahead could have avoided this and other insults to the residents. Management does not have a coherent and fairly applied plan for vehicles. Parking areas are coned off, including handicap spaces. Residents have reported that their in-home supportive service workers have been told they cannot park on the premises. They may be carrying equipment, picking up residents for trips to town or delivering shopping. They need to be allowed on the premises, not sent up the hill to Carmel Valley Road. I've never once found the lot full in 5 years visiting Rippling River. Simple communications would go such a long way, such as introducing a new maintenance man so residents don't wonder who is that guy that wants into my apartment, letting them know why and when a tree is going to be cut down, regular office hours, returning calls, receipts for payment, and documented and signed agreements would help avoid that he said, she said when there's a problem that arises afterwards. In addition to a rule that states no loitering, however that's defined when you're on your own rental property, there's a lack of ordinary and advertised amenities such as functional computer workstations and decent outdoor furniture, and things as trivial as never delivering a promised horseshoe set for resident recreation. All I'm urging is reasonable, understandable, and equally enforced regulations and expectations of respectful treatment. If the disabled and senior residents of Rippling River are treated this way, we must wonder how the residents of other John Stewart Company managed properties are faring. If we cannot contract with another property manager with a better track record, who will consider the residents as stakeholders, not just work on behalf of the investors, I'm requesting that contracts be amended so that job descriptions require people skills as well as property management skills. The tax diversion incentivized funding is a community investment. So
Luana,
as
can
we're
you please bring your
directing
comments to a
resources-
close?
Yes, I am. I just am asking for better treatment of tenants when they win the housing lottery. Instead of terrorizing the residents with fear of eviction if they make a complaint, I'd like to see the management company scrambling to meet Monterey County's contract requirements that include a metric for fairness, respect, and equality of life for our neighbors and friends. And I would like a contact name following this meeting so that I can have somebody at the housing authority that I could bring problems to as they arise, unfair evictions. And sometimes the residents are kind of desperate, and I would really like to have a contact since Starla's not there for me to get an answer from.
You
So
bet.
thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. And congratulations to the service award recipients this evening.
Thank you very much. And if you're able to, would you send a chat message to, actually, Gabby, can people send chat messages, or is that restricted?
They can send chat messages, but I have her email also. I'm
Yes.
the one that sent her.
Perfect.
So
Okay, great.
I'll reach out to her through there.
Very good. Thank you.
Gabby. Thank you so much. I appreciate the
No
time.
problem.
Thank you very
Carry on.
much.
Carry on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to make public comment this evening? And is there anybody on the phone for you, Gabby? Okay, I see nobody on the phone. I don't see anybody, other attendees wishing to speak. So we will move on in the agenda from public comment to presentations. Item 4A, a service award to Kim Shihorn, 10 years of service.
So we'll be giving Kim tomorrow a lovely certificate and 10-year service pin. And she may be on the line tonight as well. I don't see her name though. Oh,
no,
there she
I do.
is. Congratulations, Kim.
Kim, is there any words you'd like to share with the group?
Just thank you very much. And I've enjoyed my 10 years so far. I hope to maybe get at least 5 more in before I retire.
Well, we would love to have you stay as long as you're able to. So I'll just quickly say that I appreciate your service very much. It is a difficult but necessary work that you do here in our community, and there are people whose lives are changed for the better because of the work you're doing. So thank you sincerely from me for helping provide housing to people who might otherwise not have it. Are there any other members of the board who would like to share anything?
Thank you, Kim. 10 years. So it's a long time. Thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you, Kim.
I would like to say something, Chair Wizard.
Yeah, please.
Kim, I would just like to say thank you for your dedication and also in the service that you're providing to our clients and our community. We appreciate, we may not see what you do, but we just want to take this time to thank you for it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kim.
Well, thank you very much, Kim. please enjoy the rest of your evening. It looks like you may be at the office still, so, you know, I'll enjoy your hopefully short commute home, and thanks for staying with us a few extra minutes.
Thank you.
Next, we will move to item 4B, another service award, this time for Socorro Vasquez, 25 years of service.
And when I see Socorro, I'll give her this snazzy certificate and a very impressive 25-year pin. And I didn't mention, so Kim is in our finance department holding it down there, and Socorro is in property management. So Socorro, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I didn't realize that 25 years had gone by so quickly. Although at times it's been really hard at the agency, ups and downs, but I've always found it very rewarding. I do believe in the mission statement, and I strive every day to do that, the mission statement when I go to work every day. So I appreciate you guys acknowledging my 25 years, and I hope to make it another 25. Just kidding.
That was my joke. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, Socorro. And I understand that you know, you have given a tremendous amount of time to the mission of this agency to support the residents of Monterey County. And you know, it is truly a blessing that we have people who dedicate their professional careers to supporting the clients here that we serve. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Are there any other commissioners who would like to share any comments with Socorro?
Thank you, Socorro. 25 years. That is a long time to be at one job. And trust me, I stayed at mine for a little over that. So, you know, thank you so much for all that you do and all your hard work and showing up to all our meetings and providing us information. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Socorro, thank you so much. I know that your experience of 25 years helps others, and then too, you know, your knowledge of the job. So thank you so much, Socorro. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Socorro, I would echo that. I think, you know, that kind of longevity is sort of what binds an organization like this together. Somebody who's been around and, you know, can mentor other folks, understands how things operate. And just to give you a sense of the amount of time that you've been there, I know it's gone by quickly. When you started, I think I was in 6th grade. So,
Oh, man. Wow.
Well,
I
you're
wasn't far
welcome.
off.
I love doing my job. I love everything that I do. You know, it impacts what we do. It actually impacts so many lives and the community. And like, as I mentioned previously, it is very rewarding to me. I've been at the other end where I was actually a public housing resident when I grew up. And then I came into the agency as a resident clerk, and I made my way, you know, I worked in different departments within the agency, but my passion was in property management. So it is very rewarding. Thank you.
All right, commissioners, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you, Socorro. Have a great rest of the evening. If you don't continue to be on this call, I hope that you are able to enjoy some home life time. We will now move to item 5, our consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered routine and therefore do not require separate discussion. However, if someone would like to have such a discussion, whether that's a member of the board or the public, the item can be removed from the consent agenda and heard independently, heard separately. Questions of clarification can be made without removing the item from the consent agenda, and it will be adopted in one motion. First, we have item 5A, resolution 3048, establishing the continuation of remote meetings under AB 361. Resolution 3049, authorization to add a job position titled construction manager. Items 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F, 5G, and 5H are approval of minutes and amended minutes of the regular board meetings held on regular special joint and other meetings held on October 25th, 2021, December 13th, 2021, December 18th, 2021, December 21st, 2021, January 11th, 2022, and February 11th, 2022, respectively. Is there anyone on the board who would like to remove one of these items from the consent agenda and discuss it separately? Is there anyone in the public who would like to remove any of these items from the consent agenda to discuss it separately?
No one on the phone.
Okay, I'm not seeing anybody in attendance asking to do that. So we'll bring it back to the board for consideration. Is there a motion or a discussion?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been properly moved by Vice Chair Buder and seconded by Commissioner Miller to adopt the consent agenda items 5A through H.
Chair,
Can I have a roll?
Chair, can I have a question? So the agenda that was posted only has minutes C through F, and I thought I heard you go past F.
Yes, my agenda, which I thought I downloaded today, but maybe it was from Friday, has G and H on it as well. Let me
Those are
see
not
where
completed, so I removed them for the next meeting.
okay, so let me see. I see February and January, and then December 21st is removed,
Yes,
and December 18th as well.
correct.
Okay, so for the benefit of the public, that we are no longer and we are not considering the minutes for the special weekend meeting held on December 18th, nor are we considering the special joint meeting held on December 21st. Commissioner Buder, are you still comfortable with your motion having removed those two topics?
Yes, and Tori, thanks for the assist.
Yep.
And Commissioner Miller, you're still comfortable with your second?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So we will be, there was a motion to approve items 5A through F on the calendar, excuse me, on the consent agenda that is posted on the screen for everyone's benefit, and that was published for the public noticing. It was moved by Vice Chair Buder and seconded by Commissioner Miller. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Chair Wizard,
Aye.
Chair Buder, Vice Chair Buder,
Yes.
Commissioner Healy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ballesteros,
Yes.
Commissioner Gama,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Goodwin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you, everyone. It unanimously passes. We will now move to item 6. Commissioner Ballesteros, do you have a report from the Personnel Committee?
Yes, I do. We did meet, let me just get my notes. We met on Tuesday, February 2nd, and everything is on the agenda under the Human Resources Scorecard report. But I do want to mention one thing. I did ask, because there's some things that are on there, and I had asked Tori for a copy because he mentioned that the job description for the executive assistant and clerk of the board, they added the job duties of the clerk of the board to the executive assistant. So I was able to review it. I'm not sure if any of the other commissioners would like to review it, but I do want to make mention on the 3rd page of the duties. It does state that it says the ability to, and it goes down to the 2nd line, to maintain confidentiality, because this position requires the ability to plan, organize, and coordinate work in a manner that fulfills the priorities of the executive director, the COFO, which I believe is the finance, and the Board of Commissioners, and then it says maintain confidentiality. So I do want to make a mention of this, and maybe we can discuss it on the next Personnel Committee, that there is confidentiality involved when it comes to the commissioners. Anything where the executive assistant is assisting the commissioners, then the confidentiality will be between her and the commissioners that she works with. So I just wanted to state that.
Thank you very much. Tori, is there anything you need to say in response to that? And that's not a trick question. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
no,
make sure.
I mean, I think, so the position requires the ability to maintain confidentiality in a lot of areas. And I think that if there was a situation where the position needed to maintain confidentiality from the executive director, I would assume that the board would provide that guidance. But otherwise, most of the time, the executive director is also in the room when the board is meeting, and the executive assistant and clerk of the board was there. So I can imagine there could be a circumstance where they might need to keep something confidential from the executive director, but in the normal course of business, I wouldn't see that as a major issue.
Great. Okay, we will next move to the Finance and Development Committee report from Commissioner Gama.
We did meet and everything is on the agenda. It was a very quick meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. We'll go back to Commissioner Ballesteros and Commissioner Miller for Michi.
I don't believe there's been a meeting, has there, Kathleen, since the last
No.
one that I wasn't able to attend?
Correct. We won't have a meeting until March. So we will, I believe Mr. Rose will contact us with an email of that scheduled meeting.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thank
Is
you.
Mr. Rose no longer giving updates on behalf of Michi?
Is
I'm
he on?
not sure.
It's been
Yeah.
requested by Chair Wizard that I am not on the agenda. So as a consequence of anything I say would only be a public comment. And you're correct. However, the next meeting is on March 9th.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Okay. Affordable acquisitions, again, Commissioners Ballesteros and Miller.
I believe the same thing. The meeting will be next month, sir.
Sure, I appreciate it. If it would streamline our meetings, Mr. Gunsley, maybe we could change item 6 to say Monterey County Housing Inc. /Michi-AA, and then we could just have one call to those commissioners participating as opposed to separate items, but maybe not. It's, you know. Number 7, the report of the secretary. Mr. Gunsley, you're up again.
All right. Looking for where my secretary report went. Well, I've had a busy month of meeting a number of different stakeholders, and I think met with CLRA, the legal aid executive director, and several members of her team, and kind of checked in on the relationship with the Hackham and CRLA. Had a number of meetings with different homeless providers, both the coalition of homeless service providers, as well as the Community Homeless Solutions executive director, and had an opportunity to see CSH's property in Monterey, Marina, and also participated in the Leadership Council and several homeless meetings that the Housing Authority has standing in by the bylaws of those different organizations. The Housing Authority is at the table. And so I was welcomed to those meetings and was able to kind of get an update on what's going on in the area on homelessness. I also set up a couple of meetings with other executive directors of housing authorities in the area, just to get their sense of Hackham, what sort of partnerships there have been, whether or not there are resources that we can use together to help both or all housing authorities excel. And so that was productive. In other news, the agency received an extra $65,187 of housing choice voucher admin fees. And this typically happens throughout the year. HUD slightly adjusts the proration level as they get to the end of the federal fiscal year. And they change the proration, and you're always happy when it goes up, and you're always sad when it goes down. And so that was good news. We processed the welfare tax exemptions for the portfolio. We had a very good conversation with the Coalition of Homeless Service Providers around the EHV program, the Emergency Housing Voucher Program. And they had some requests for some extensions on people's searching time. And we were able to creatively look at our admin plan, and don't have to change the admin plan, but we're able to change the internal policy where those extensions would be granted automatically, and in a much more routine way. So both sides walked away feeling good about that. In this market, it is difficult for EHV clients to find units, and providing them more time is helpful. An update on the performance audit of HDC. I had drafted an RFP and sent it out to a number of possible respondents, and it got circulated around. The responses are due today. As of 3 o'clock, I had 2 responses, and I'll have to check my email and see if we got any more respondents in by the end of the day. Attended some mediation and some settlement meetings related to the HTC lawsuits, the construction lawsuits. And finally, I set up a training on the 2-year tool in the voucher program, and have begun the utilization and payment standard analysis, so that we can ensure that our program is fully utilized, but also maximized. And there is a tension there between serving more people and serving people better. And there are several competing demands. So if we serve people better by increasing payment standards, so giving them more money in certain areas, if we wind up having to serve fewer people, that means we collect less in admin fee, as well as we serve fewer people. And so the trick is to see whether or not we can increase the payment standard while still serving the same number of people, or substantially the same number of people. I am trying to do a last minute fair market rent analysis, so that we can get that into HUD by June. And that's our best case scenario of being able to increase the fair market rents, which makes the pie bigger, and it makes it much easier to accomplish these different objectives. And with that, I'll close my secretary's report.
Great. Thank you so much. Next item is 8A under new business resolution 3050 to amend an easement between the Housing Authority of the County of Monterey and the Big Sur Land Trust. Before we get underway, don't mean to single you out, Mr. Vice Chair, but I don't know if there's any announcements that you wanted to make.
Yeah, as I stated in the past, I'm on the board of the Big Sur Land Trust, so I am going to recuse myself from voting and from commenting on this item. Thank you, Chair Wizard.
Thank you.
And if I could, in this virtual world, I think probably the best way to recuse yourself is to have Gabby place you in a waiting room, and then we bring you back in after the item takes place.
Sounds good.
He's been put in a waiting room.
All right. We will dispense with this business and bring him right back. Mr. Gunsley, are you introducing this agenda item?
Yes. So we had a presentation last month on the amended easement with the Big Sur Land Trust. They already have a existing easement, and simply what this easement amendment does is allow them more than access. It allows them to bring improvements to the existing easement, for which they would be responsible for the maintenance and for the improvements at no cost to Hackham. So I think it makes total sense, and I would urge its adoption.
I make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, well, it has been properly moved and seconded that we adopt item 8A, which is resolution 3050 to amend an easement between Hackham and the Big Sur Land Trust. Is there any public comment related to this item? Yes.
No one on the phone.
Ms. Saunders, go ahead.
Yes, Chair Wizard, thank you. I'm Rachel Saunders with the Big Sur Land Trust. We gave the presentation to you last month. I just want to express gratitude for the work that your staff has done with us on this, and we'll really look forward to continuing our work with the Housing Authority. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment on item 8A between the Big Sur Land Trust and the Housing Authority of the County of Monterey? Okay, seeing no others, we'll return to the board for any discussion or questions before calling for the vote. This will be discussion on the question with a motion in a second. All right, not hearing or seeing from any commissioners, we will return for a roll call vote.
Chair Wizard?
Aye.
Chair Commissioner Healy?
Yes.
Commissioner Ballesteros?
Yes.
Commissioner Gama?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Goodwin? Oh, I see the thumbs up from Commissioner Goodwin. And Commissioner Booter is recused.
Yes. Mine was a yes. I'm sorry. I
No, all
couldn't
good.
unmute myself. Okay.
All good. And Mr. Gunsley, you recorded Commissioner Goodwin's affirmative and vocal vote?
Yes.
Perfect. So that will be 6-0-1, 6 to vote yes, 0 no's, and 1 abstention / recusal. And then Gabby, if you could let Vice Chair Booter back into the room.
He's back.
Great. Welcome back, Vice Chair Booter. For your benefit, since you were not able to join us, the motion passed unanimously, but for your absence. And we will now move. And thank you so much, Ms. Saunders, for spending some of your evening with us. Item 8B, PHA certification of compliance with the 2022 agency annual plan and related regulations. Mr. Gunsley.
And again, I have to apologize. The posted version has that as 9A as an informational only item.
Okay, well then let's move it. I'll just, for the prerogative of the chair, we'll move it to item 9 under as an information item. And since we've just announced it, why don't you just kick it off with that before we get into the reports?
So this is really just for your information. The Housing Authority does an annual plan every year. Those of you that have been on the board are familiar with the process. The process changed after the Housing Authority no longer ran public housing, and it is a much easier process to go through. And we've laid out for you a timeline. The biggest piece of the timeline is there's a 45-day public posting requirement. That public posting for public review started February 22nd. We have put ads in the paper. We have posted it on our website, and it's also available here at the office. We will have a public hearing with the Board of Commissioners regularly scheduled meeting on February 28th to take official public comments. And then we will plan to have a special meeting prior to April 14th, where the board would take the action in the draft resolution that is certifying that the annual plan is consistent with a number of different things, and that you authorize me to submit the plan to HUD. When we look at the actual plan itself, there aren't a lot of changes. We are basically, the only new activity that we contemplate is additional project-based vouchers. And so we have an active program there, and we will continue to work in partnership with others. And we may have additional project-based vouchers in the upcoming year. And so we lay that out in the plan. Other than that, we do not have any real changes, and we give a progress report based on the goals and the mission described in the 5-year plan that was done, I believe, 4 years ago. So we're just about at the time to do the next 5-year plan. And happy to take questions or comments, but that's the information on the annual plan.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from commissioners?
Tori, in terms of the process here, if we ever wanted to make changes to our payment standards, I know there's a voucher plan as well, but if we wanted to make payment standard adjustments or go to some sort of tiering to account for the wide variety of communities in the county, is that something? How does that work with this process?
So it's not required to be a part of this process. So we already have tiered payment standards, and we have the ability to modify those tiers without changing the annual plan.
Right.
Okay, other questions or comments? All right, thank you so much. Moving on to the finance report.
So that's me again. And I had sent the commissioners some financial information, and I'm happy to go through it in whatever detail that you would like. The bottom line from that report is that our expenses are less than our revenue. which is always a good thing. The large caveat is most of that difference is related to HAP dollars, which are restricted. So we are not in a cash rich position, but we do show positive net retained earnings and positive balance sheet, but it's largely due to the restricted accounts in the voucher program. The other thing to bring to the commissioner's attention is we're going to be starting in the next month or so, maybe 45 days, the next budget. Should I still have the pleasure of being here and serving, we're going to have better budgets that are more accurate. If you look at the budget to actual report, you'll see a lot of overages and underspends. And that was really due to a budget process that was not robust. And I think therefore internally what happens is people are not always looking at the budget to know whether something is in budget or out of budget. And so from a process standpoint, we want to build a better process where everybody knows that the budget is actually something that needs to be followed. And we should be able to explain why we're over budget or we're under budget on different items. And I'm happy to answer questions, but that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Gunsley regarding our finances?
And Chair, I had a quick question.
Please.
And it may not actually, I'm not sure it exactly falls under the finance report, but close. So in terms of the RAD tenant AR audits, I know that the prior interim executive director / finance director was helping us with that. And obviously she's back on the East Coast and has a new job. But just curious kind of what the path forward you see on that is.
So she has said that she's going to complete them. And we're trying to see how much longer that will take. The challenge is if we try to just start over and do it on our own, it will take longer. And I'm hopeful that it will be done in a week or two.
Great. Thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll move to the HR scorecard report.
So you can read the scorecard report for yourself. I think the most important fact for the commissioners to know is on any given day, we are down probably 20 to 25% of our staff. And it's a combination of vacancies that we've had trouble filling. It's a combination of people calling out sick or being in quarantine. And that combination is very difficult for the routine operations of the agency. The good news, if you could call it that, is when I talked to the other executive directors, we are not alone. Everybody is going through this and is experiencing the same sort of 20 to 25% staffing vacancies through a combination of vacancies and illness. We are aggressively trying to recruit and to fill those vacancies, but it is going to take a little bit of time. And the headwind is the pay scales here at the Housing Authority can't compete with the pay scales of Santa Cruz and Santa Clara housing authorities. And we're just not able to match those salaries. And for some of the applicants, they're able to kind of commute to higher paying areas. And so that's something that is a long-term structural problem that the Housing Authority has experienced and won't be able to solve overnight until we're able to kind of change a revenue picture for the Housing Authority.
All right. Questions or comments?
Or could you just speak to the some of those more senior open positions and sort of the state of play on those?
Sure. So for the CFO recruitment, I've looked at 3 potential finalists and am trying to schedule interviews with them. One of the finalists, and it's not a hard cutoff. So if somebody great walks through the door and submits their resume tomorrow, and there could be 4 finalists. But one of the 3 is already a finalist with another housing authority in another part of the country. 1 is local, 2 are national, and we're trying to move forward with interviews as quickly as we can. The HR director, we have not seen a lot of traction on, and we haven't seen any candidates that just jump out and rise to the heap of being a great candidate. And the ad hoc committee, we're trying to set up a meeting of the ad hoc committee so that we can move forward on the recruitment of the executive director. At this point, we do have signed contracts with the recruiter. So we're able to kind of move full speed ahead on that one. So that's kind of the state of what I'm seeing right now with those higher level positions.
Thanks, Troy. Other questions or comments? Okay, then we'll move on to 9D, the development report.
Hi, would you like me to do this now or in our HDC meeting? I'm good either way.
We might as well do it now.
Okay, well, just a few things I wanted to mention. Our job here at Tynan is close to being done. We've got building A going through waterproofing right now. The painters have started painting on building A. So hopefully within the next 2 months, you'll see the scaffold come down and nice brand new paint at the site here. So that's good news. It's going well. Fano Vista, we've got the Life Steps agency. We've executed a contract with them to start resident services there April 1st for our tenants out there. And then on Parkside, we're waiting for building A, the community building, and then building C, the other 40 unit building, that we expect the setting of the modules to be in May. So those will be delivered from Gurdon. They started production last week. And then building B is almost completely done. If you happen to drive out there, you'll see that it's all painted. We've got the railings up. They just did the first pour of the driveway, so you can drive around the property again now. So that's going well. And then the only other thing or big item, we sat down with property management staff and our team, along with property management and Hackham inspector. We're going to start doing some capital needs assessments on our properties.
Exciting times. Thank you so much for that report. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
Questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you again. Moving to 9E, the property management report.
Hi, good night, commissioners. Just want to point a couple of things in the report. We have completed the MOR for property 803. We are currently working in a response to the audit, and we will be submitting that response within the next 30 days. We also have completed the OCA rent adjustments for all the RAD sites. We also completed the AOCs and the POPs for the tax credit sites. We have put the Spectrum reporting on hold because Spectrum is no longer doing the reporting for the state. We got notified that they submitted a bid because their contract expired. So we're not submitting the report through them. And we have to wait until the tax credit office reassigns the contract to either them or someone else. Then we will complete the Spectrum reporting. We have, like Carolina mentioned, met with HTC to come up with a plan for capital needs for the RAD sites. As part of the response that we have to send to the MOR, we need to do that capital needs assessment, and we are working diligently to get that done as soon as possible. We are also meeting with the PDM, different groups from PDM, trying to be more effective in the way we are handling the project. We had scheduled a meeting last week. Unfortunately, they had to cancel it, and we have rescheduled it for tomorrow. Everybody that's a party in that property is going to be present. We are trying to develop a system or a plan where we can work better together so that we can be more effective in housing those units, and that we don't work against each other, but with each other to try to make that happen in more efficient way. So that those talks will be happening tomorrow. We are also working with HCC on getting all the resident service coordinators in all the sites that are, we have them. We are going to be working with Life Steps. They're going to be taking care of the resident service coordinators services for all the sites that we manage. We recently signed the contract for the Castroville resident service coordinator, so they're now in place. And we will be doing the same with any other properties that need those services. We have also been working with housing programs. We have had some vacancies that had been outstanding for a long time. We've been working in conjunction with their staff, and we should have those units already housed by the end of this week. We were pending some inspections by the Section 8 inspector, but they should be housed this week. We're also working on the Castroville response for the tax credit audit for Castroville. That will be due in the next 2 weeks. We already have most of the documentation, and when it's completed, we should be sending it to HCC for review, and then we will be uploading that information over to tax credit. And that's pretty much the highlights on the report. If there's any questions or anything that you might have, please let me know.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cosa. Go ahead, Kathleen.
I have a question. I noted this down, and because I didn't know we were going to do it on HTC or in this meeting. Real quick, Jose, I'm glad that you mentioned about the vacancies. So I was looking at that because I do know that there probably are probably some of these, maybe there's already clients that are going through the process, but looking at the time frame, there's a lot of them that there's one that's been vacant for 87 days. So I think it's good that you guys are giving your attention to these vacancies. So thank you, Jose.
Yeah, and just to go over that, Commissioner, I know the section, these are the ones that are from all of the vacancies that are from Haciendas 4. Those are PVV units. We were working in conjunction with section housing programs, but unfortunately, I know they were short-staffed. They were trying to do a lot, and they weren't able to get those people interviewed in a timely manner. So their staff member is back that is taking care of that property. We were able to provide them some of the documentations from the interviews we completed so that they can expedite the process and make their process, complete the process so that we can move those residents. There's also one unit on 24 Norwood Street. That's been vacant for a while because we have exhausted our wait list. We went to all of our wait lists. We looked at the 5-bedroom wait list, and we have exhausted all of those applicants, and we couldn't find a qualified resident. We will be reopening our wait list probably next month. And we will be also just to make it easier on everyone, we are going to be taking electronic applications, which will allow people to submit applications from different places without having to come to the office. We will still have the application available in the event that someone walks into an office or requests one, but we are going to be taking mainly electronic applications, and that will help us clean our wait list and have more qualified applicants, so that when we do have the vacancies, we have enough people in our wait list.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question. I'm not sure if it pertains to Jose. I've been asked about by several people. I live in Casanova Plaza, and our security system went down about, I'm going to say 2 years now, and vagrants have been coming in the building and falling asleep like we have like, sofas or chairs in the halls, and for the residents to sit. And anyway, I was just wondering if there's anything in the works to get that resolved.
Yes, Commissioner. I actually, when we had our staff meeting with Mr. Gonzalez and Carolina, we discussed some quick fixes to the immediate problem. We will do a system replacement, but at this time we're looking at options that are viable for us that we can implement right away. We have our staff, Ricardo, and we also have HEC staff working on getting some immediate fixes for those immediate security issues we can have a solution right now. But we're definitely going to probably have to replace that system in the long term. But right now we're looking to that, and it is something that's in the works. I will keep everybody appraised during our meetings as the progress on that project happens.
Thank you.
Okay. I think Chair Wizard has to go to another obligation promptly here at 6. So I think he was dropping off. So I'm going to take over for the balance of the meeting, which I think should be relatively quick. So we're going to move to item 9F, unless anyone else has any questions about the property management report. Okay. Item 9F, the housing programs report.
And I don't see that Maria is on. She was out sick today. So let's see, can I scroll on this hot copy? I can't. So I will cover for her. So the voucher program continues to chug right along. Right now, we have a focus on the EHVs and trying to get those leased up. And we've had a series of meetings about them and how to increase their effectiveness. We currently have received 155 referrals. And we've got 8 families that are pending lease up, and I think we have another 8 who are under lease. So you can see that's like 10% of the folks have been successful so far, and we are trying to increase that number. We had a on staff a housing navigator who was supposed to assist with that program. They have been let go. they just weren't coming to work. And I'm exploring conversations with some of the other homeless providers about whether or not we can contract out that housing navigation service. At the same time, we are looking to fill that housing navigator spot. So if we get a great candidate, we'll fill it. And if we don't, we may contract it out to one of the homeless providers who are already providing housing navigation service. You can look at the January lease up rates, and we're kind of right on target in terms of our budget utilization. And as I said earlier in the Secretary's report, we're creating and doing some analysis for what does the rest of the year look like so that we end the year serving the most number of people that we can, but staying within budget. And those are the major highlights in the voucher program.
Questions from commissioners on the housing programs report? I had one quick one. Tori, I've been trying to get on here some data on folks with vouchers who aren't able to lease up and who have to drop out because they come to the end of their search period. And I was wondering if you could help me to maybe get that on the report.
Yeah. So I can tell you that our success rate is 70%, and that's over a 150-day period. And so that is something we can certainly add to the report, is the success rate. It's a tricky thing to try to show because you have so many different time periods at once where you have, like we have 155 people searching with EHVs right now. And right now, like a 10% success rate. But then as you track it month to month, you might see that number start to go up. But then if you issue more vouchers,
I wonder if we could track people. I wonder if it could be a lagging indicator, something that could just track people that have gone through the process.
Yeah. And that's certainly something that we can provide. We have that data.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to move to item 10, commissioner comments. And we're going to start with Commissioner Healy.
I just wanted to say thank you for everybody for all of their hard work, and congratulations to Socorro and to Kim for their years of service. And thank you very much for a great meeting.
And Commissioner Ballesteros.
I ditto what Commissioner Hilly said, and thank you to all the staff for all the reports and the information, and thank you, Gabriela, for your help. Thank you.
And Commissioner Gama.
I will echo what Commissioner Ballesteros has said. Thank you to everybody for all your hard work and dedication.
And Commissioner Miller.
Thank you. Congratulations to Kim and Socorro for their service awards and their dedication to the Housing Authority. And thank everyone for what I think were some very informative reports that I think are providing us a lot more information that we need to have an understanding of what's going on. So I do appreciate those. Thank you.
And Commissioner Goodwin.
I just wanted to thank everyone and thank Tori for getting things moving, because they definitely are. I can see it transpire here on my property where I'm living. In fact, I'm getting a new balcony as we speak, reparent. So anyway, and I know that because of leadership. Thank you. And I appreciate all the hard work everybody's put into the report. Thank you.
I think that's a great perspective to have. So thank you, Commissioner Goodwin. And I would echo that. I think, first of all, Kim and Socorro, incredible track record of, dedication to the residents here and to the housing authority. And then, Tori, I think there's a lot on your plate, and, I appreciate all the hard work here and everyone else who's helping to make it happen shorthanded. And with that, we are going to adjourn the meeting at 6:06 p.m. and we'll see you all in the HTC meeting.
Thank you.